Hello, this is astrologer coach Sonja Francis, and we're doing another members only full moon video today. Yippee yay! And this month's full moon will be exact on October 24th at 12:45 p.m. East Coast time in the US, which is New York time, and 5:45 p.m. London time. Now, the full moon will be exact at 1 degree of Taurus. And of course, a full moon always offers an opportunity for us to see things in a new light and guide us towards sort of a sense of balance and integration internally, and also within our relationships and with other people and the outside world. So we're really trying to find that balance and that integration rather than going too much into polarization and division, with the energies, which would be the other side of the coin in which we could use the full moon, right? And that's why the full moon can sometimes be sort of like an emotional time as well, because when we go into polarization and division, that can cause us to get upset. Now, the full moons also illuminate the truth and consequences of our previous choices. In particular, everything that's happened since the new moon, the previous new moon. And with this particular full moon, we're getting a really sort of like a double dose of energies opposing each other, because we don't just have the sun in Scorpio opposing the moon in Taurus. We're also dealing with a sun-Venus alignment in Scorpio opposing the moon-Uranus alignment in Taurus. So we have two planets attached to the full moon on each side. So we're really sort of like experiencing something a little bit more intense here. So this will feel a little bit heightened in terms of that tension. And so we're really needing to tap into more that ability to balance, and what's conscious, what's unconscious, is going to be more of a theme these next 2 weeks. And also, while the sun and moon are approaching the monthly opposition, we're already going to start to feel that because of Venus and Uranus opposing each other. So for this reason, I have sort of like a special offer for all my members towards the end of this video. So you can get some extra support this month, or for the next 2 weeks especially. So stay tuned for that. But first, let's take a look at this polarity, this Scorpio-Taurus polarity, and let's see what that's all about and what it all means. So this full moon spotlights our relationship to our physical body, what we value on a physical plane, and also what we value about the planet that we live on currently, right? And that's all connected to the Taurus energy. And then on the other hand, we have our relationship to our emotional authenticity, to intimacy, sexuality, to empowerment or disempowerment, death, rebirth, endings, beginnings, right? And all of that is connected to the Scorpio energy. So it really asks us to recognize our deepest desires and our truest motivations with this full moon for the next 2 weeks. So you can ask yourself here for the next 2 weeks, what do I truly value? And what am I truly passionate about? And what values can I no longer compromise on? And this will be important because, with Taurus, it's all about our values, right? And since Venus will be in Scorpio at the time of the full moon, what are the values that we can no longer compromise on? And please remember that all the full moon questions are also available in writing via the weekly forecasts by the evening of October 21st on my website, right? So you can always access these questions there if you want to use them for journaling, or you want to just be able to look at them visually so you can meditate on them, or whatever else you might want to do with them, right? It can be a really good way to connect with the energies for the next 2 weeks, and it's just as a tool, right? Now, Scorpio at its best is associated with transformation. So the sun will be in Scorpio at the time of the full moon. And so our capacity to shed what may have served us in the past, but now hinders our growth, is bigger right now. So we're having the ability to take a look at, what is it that we need to shed in our life right now. And so maybe some of the things that we might need to shed right now, maybe false beliefs, maybe something around values or relationships, any kind of identity, something that we have identified with in the past that is just no longer serving us in our evolution, a way of being or a way of interacting with other people. But it could also be a relationship or a job or something more concrete like that we may need to shed, right? So if that is the case, we might be, entering a period of unknown. Whenever we shed something that feels like something that we felt really identified with, especially, this might feel a little uncomfortable, and we might, feel like we're in new territory now, because who am I if I'm not that, right? We might have to face our worst fears, as we're going through this process. We may need to deal with loss in some way. We may need to let go of something old in order to let in something new. And to the degree that we're attached to the old or scared of letting something new come in, right? We're going to experience this either as a dark, difficult transition in our lives, or it will deepen our inner strength, because by really allowing ourselves to let go and be open to the new and standing in that place of like, I am ready, in this readiness, we're able to really get clear about how strong we are internally and how much power we have inside of us, that we can handle a lot of stuff, even if our mind doesn't think so. And, the mind, of course, always tries to protect us. So the mind has a tendency to not want to be open to something new or something that's completely different from what has worked for us in the past, right? So, what's really important is like allowing us, we need to allow ourselves to discover, that our inner strength is something that cannot be taken away from us, no matter what happens externally and no matter what we're letting go of right now. The outside world is not the place where we have our power. It's really the inside, our internal relationship with ourselves, where we experience power and resilience, and that lives inside of us. So there's an opportunity here to recognize that and to really get strengthened by that, through the letting go process. Now, the sun's passage through Scorpio corresponds with the end of a calendar year. It's a time of transition, a time to go within, to honor the realities of death and rebirth, and shedding one season to make way for the next season. So it's really the cycle of life, which really is the most natural thing there is. I'm looking forward to supporting you in whichever way feels right to you at this time. Have a fantastic full moon, and I'm looking forward to be in touch in whichever way feels good to you. Namaste. And I love you all. This is Astrologer Coach Sonja Francis.